Swedish defense firm Saab wants Canada to buy and build its fighter jets. The firm is pitching a partnership with Bombardier and promising to create up to 10,000 jobs along with it.
Canada to do their own upgrades, to build parts of it, to do final assembly and tests. We, as Saab, we are prepared to do that technology transfer to Canada and support that build.
The company that makes the Gripen has told CTV News that 10,000 manufacturing and research jobs could land in Canada if Ottawa adds the Swedish fighter jet to its military fleet.
The fighter jet discussion was never meant to escalate into a geopolitical confrontation. Canada was expected to complete a routine procurement, modernize an aging fleet, and continue along a familiar defense path. Instead, what should have been a technical decision sparked quiet warnings from Washington, unease within NATO, and a rare moment of strategic defiance from Ottawa. As Sweden's JS-39 Gripen emerged as a serious contender, the tone of private conversations shifted, revealing a deeper struggle over sovereignty, control, and the future structure of Allied air power. For years, the replacement of Canada's CF-18s appeared straightforward. The F-35 program had long been framed as the inevitable outcome, embedded in decades of defense cooperation with the United States. Publicly, the process looked procedural and predictable. Privately, the atmosphere changed once Canadian officials began giving genuine consideration to Sweden's alternative. Diplomatic messages grew firmer, less suggestive, and more cautionary. The implication was clear. Choosing a non-American platform could carry consequences beyond aviation. Canada did not retreat from the review. Instead, it signaled a principle rarely stated so openly by close U.S. allies, that national air sovereignty would remain fully under Canadian control. The significance of that stance reached far beyond a single aircraft competition. The issue was never about whether the F-35 is advanced or combat capable. It unquestionably is. Nor was Canada questioning its NATO commitments or broader partnership with Washington. What made the moment sensitive was precedent. A central member of the Western Defense Network was openly examining how much operational independence modern alliances truly allowed on the surface. The Gripen's presence should not have caused alarm. The aircraft already operates within NATO or closely aligned air forces, including Sweden, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, and has proven adaptable in demanding environments. Yet concern in Washington reflected something deeper than platform comparison. The Gripen represents a different model of control. Its software authority, weapons integration, and mission data management remain primarily in national hands rather than dependent on U.S. approval channels. Once acquired, the aircraft's operational ecosystem belongs to the country flying it. That distinction carries strategic implications. If Canada can field a modern, NATO-compatible fighter while retaining full autonomy over upgrades, data, and deployment decisions, other nations might seek similar arrangements. The anxiety was less about radar cross-sections and more about momentum, about whether dependence on a single defense architecture could gradually loosen across the alliance. That Canada's geography intensifies the stakes. The country is responsible for defending one of the largest airspaces on Earth, much of it stretching across remote Arctic regions, where infrastructure is sparse and conditions are severe. Northern patrols are not symbolic. They are routine demonstrations of sovereignty. Russian bomber activity near polar approaches has increased, and emerging Arctic routes are gaining geopolitical relevance. In such an environment, response time, reliability, and endurance can matter more than theoretical peak performance. Aircraft operating in extreme cold must launch reliably, travel vast distances, and function despite limited logistical support. Runways may be short, damaged, or improvised. Maintenance crews may be small. Weather can degrade even the most advanced systems. Under these realities, resilience becomes as valuable as sophistication. The Gripen was designed around precisely those constraints. Sweden built its air doctrine on the expectation that fixed bases could be struck early in a conflict and centralized command disrupted. Gripen operations emphasize dispersion, jets launching from highways or temporary strips, refueled and rearmed quickly by compact ground teams using minimal equipment. The philosophy prioritizes survival, continuity, and sustained availability under pressure. The F-35 reflects a different operational vision. Its stealth, sensor fusion, and networked awareness deliver extraordinary battlefield advantages, but they rely on highly integrated maintenance structures, secure data connectivity, and stable infrastructure. In conflicts where satellites, communications links, fuel depots, or major runways are targeted, such dependencies can become vulnerabilities. This contrast does not diminish the F-35's power. It highlights the assumptions embedded in its design. Where one system prioritizes technological dominance within a connected battle space, the other emphasizes endurance when that connectivity fractures. For Canada, facing distance, cold, and dispersed defense requirements, the distinction shapes more than procurement. It reframes national strategy. This realization gradually shifted the internal debate. The question stopped being which aircraft was more advanced on paper and became which doctrine best matched Canada's operational reality. Across NATO, planners increasingly acknowledge that traditional air bases are no longer guaranteed sanctuaries. Concentrating aircraft in pristine hubs improves efficiency, but reduces survivability. Distributed operations, multiple launch points, mobile support teams, rapid relocation offer a way to absorb early strikes and continue flying. Within that emerging model, the Gripen aligns naturally. Its architecture supports dispersal autonomy and sustained readiness under degraded conditions. Choosing such a system would signal more than procurement preference. It would represent a strategic philosophy centered on independence within alliance cooperation. That possibility explains the intensity surrounding what once seemed routine. Canada's decision touches fundamental questions about how modern alliances balance integration with sovereignty, technology with resilience, and partnership with control. Whatever aircraft ultimately fills Canadian skies, the debate itself has already revealed something larger. The future of Allied air power may depend not only on capability, but on who truly commands it when systems are tested. Modern air power is increasingly shaped by resilience rather than concentration. The ability to launch from highways, dispersed strips, and remote northern locations makes fighter forces far harder to neutralize in the opening moments of a conflict. Centralized command structures still play an important role, but they can no longer function as single points of failure. Instead, survivability now depends on how well advanced aircraft can continue operating when networks are disrupted, bases are damaged, and logistics are strained. This shift is not about replacing high-end fighters. It is about ensuring they remain usable when conditions deteriorate. Washington recognizes the implications of that transition, which helps explain why Canada's procurement debate expanded far beyond simple aircraft performance. Tensions sharpened when U.S. officials signaled that American fighter activity inside Canadian airspace could increase if Ottawa reduced or canceled its planned F-35 purchase. Under the long-standing NORAD framework, both countries already possess authority to cross borders in response to threats, a system rooted in Cold War trust and continental defense integration. Yet, diplomatic messaging suggested that a smaller Canadian fleet might require structural adjustments to NORAD itself. Public remarks reinforce the point, arguing that Canada's acquisition numbers directly influence the credibility of North American air defense, and that any reduction would compel the United States to compensate operationally. These warnings emerge as Canada reassessed the F-35 contract after projected costs rose significantly within only a few years. The federal government ordered a review to determine whether the investment still aligned with national defense priorities and broader economic pressures. At the same time, political friction with Washington, intensified by tariff threats and shifting trade rhetoric, added sensitivity to decisions traditionally treated as routine alliance cooperation. Procurement was no longer insulated from geopolitics. The Sweden Saab introduced an alternative vision centered on domestic industry and technological autonomy. Its proposal emphasized local manufacturing, meaningful technology transfer, and thousands of Canadian jobs tied directly to long-term sustainment. Canadian officials highlighted the strategic value of defense spending that strengthens both sovereignty and the national economy. In contrast, American representatives cautioned that selecting a non-U.S. platform could weaken interoperability and require greater U.S. operational involvement in continental patrols. The implication was unmistakable. Aircraft choice had become a lever of influence within the alliance. This dynamic reflected a broader international pattern in which defense relationships increasingly intersect with trade policy, sanctions, and political pressure. As great power competition intensifies, military procurement decisions double as signals of alignment. Canada therefore faced a deeper strategic question: how closely national security should remain tied to systems ultimately controlled outside its borders. The F-35 embodies unmatched stealth, sensor fusion, and seamless integration with U.S.-led command networks. Those strengths deliver extraordinary coalition capability, but also embed long-term dependence within software management, mission data, sustainment pipelines, and upgrade authority. Critics argue that such dependence carries political risk, particularly when U.S. domestic priorities shift unpredictably. Supporters counter that integration itself is a foundation of collective defense effectiveness. The Gripen presents a different balance. Lower operating costs, national control over software and weapons integration, flexible deployment from austere locations, and substantial domestic industrial participation all enhance sovereignty. Yet these advantages come with trade-offs, including reduced access to certain high-end alliance capabilities and added complexity in coalition planning. Neither path is free of consequence. Scaling back the F-35 could strain relations with Washington, complicate NORAD modernization, and create temporary capability gaps during a period of rising Arctic strategic competition. Proceeding fully with the program would guarantee elite performance while deepening structural reliance on U.S. systems. Even a sovereign aircraft cannot deliver complete independence inside a binational defense command. Autonomy within NORAD is therefore a matter of degree rather than absolutes. Canadian policymakers have emphasized that reassessment does not equal rejection of alliance cooperation. Instead, it reflects an effort to redefine partnership in terms that preserve operational control alongside interoperability. The message resonates beyond North America because it challenges assumptions that technological integration must automatically concentrate authority. For decades, advanced fighter programs have quietly shaped alliance behavior by linking data access, upgrades, and sustainment to a single power center. Questioning that structure inevitably becomes political. What unsettles observers is less the aircraft under consideration than the precedent such questioning might establish. If a major Western partner demonstrates that sovereignty and interoperability can coexist,